In our last episode, we created our first acceptance test and explained all of the details of what we're doing to create that test. And we can see here that the test is passing. If you're new to the series, then you may think, hey, that looks like a lot more than one test, but most of those are just JS hint. So the page that we're testing is this page, and right now we're testing, so we're creating tin monsters, visiting the page, and then testing that there are tin monsters there. But how do we know those are the same tin monsters? I mean, it seems like it should be, but let's go ahead and check. So we'll go ahead and assign those tin monsters to the monsters variable. And that'll still create them, it'll just also assign them to the variable. And then let's assert .equal. Let's say we find all the monsters, and then we grab the first one. Then the thing we're comparing it to is the first item in the monsters array. Our CLI thing says failed, expected object, whereas the actual is object. Let's go ahead and go to our other view to get something in more detail. And we can see that one of these is an Ember object, while the other is a jQuery object, or something like it. So once we look at our code, we can see that's obvious. Here we're finding it in the DOM, and here we're grabbing an Ember object, or some sort of JavaScript object. So here, for this first one, we can just call .name, and then we'll see it's expecting Sparkachu 0, and here we have to find where on the page we display the name. So it appears to be within the monster info thing. So we could do some sort of includes rather than equality, or we could put in a span with a class monster name, do test monster name, and there we go. So we'll check that by monster and then dot test monster name, and then grabbing the first of those. And of course, it's still a jQuery object, so we're going to have to grab text from it. And there we go. Now they're equal. So that's our second test. What about our third? Well, what we want to do is click on one of these and have it show this. So that's what we want to test, that we click and then it shows. So we will go and we will click. And what will we click? Well, we're going to have to select something. We'll go ahead and click on class monster, since that's the class we've assigned to the link to. So click on .monster, and then we have an and then. And what we want to test there, first we'll assert that the current URL is monsters / an ID. Let's go ahead and guess 1 and make sure we're clicking on this first monster as well. And let's see what happens there. So we want it to also say show. I forgot about that route. So 1/show. So we click on it and it goes to the right place. It just does not like our JS hint at all. There we go. Everyone's happy. Now we'll want to make sure that what we're showing there is correct. So let's go to monster show to that template, and let's go ahead and check on the name. So we will assert that the text in name is the same as the name of the first item in the monsters array. And it says it is. Now, just to make sure that things are actually testing what we expect, let's go ahead and add a little bit here. Excellent. So if we change what's displayed in the app, then that'll mess up our test. That means it's a good test. It's testing something real. And with that, we have our second and third tests. Maybe third, fourth, and fifth, depending on how you count it. In the next episode, we'll get into how to test editing and saving a monster.